Welcome to the fourth one-on-one session with Mark. I am Tori, the Dungeon Mom, and I'm going to have Mark introduce himself, race, class, pronouns, what Mark is studying in school, as this is a little update on how Mark has enjoyed the school year in the month that has passed since we last met for our one-on-one session in-game.
Greetings, dear viewer. My name is Boris, and I'll be playing Marek Velair, a male elven sorcerer. During a more or less uneventful month at school, he's been able to focus on studying at classes despite being study buddies with the goofy yet distracting Isla. He's now more comfortably settled into a usual routine of classes and various clubs, as well as a casual check-in with Delta Domini Chi, a local student branch section. Mark thinks that it's nice that it's gotten calmer, but I'm sure that's not going to last too long. Let's see where this session takes us, Tori.
It's definitely not going to last too long.
Yeah.
All right. Last we met, Mark received an update from Mr. Shivaris as they met at Whisperwood Park one Saturday afternoon. Mr. Shivaris gave Mark some information about Blaze's, or I guess some information that the person who was arrested for Blaze's disappearance was none other than Isla Omari disguised as an old man. The rest of the party was brought in for questioning and arrested as accomplices. And through some various questioning, the government was able to figure out that they had a lot of evidence and proof with witness testimony from Rain Silverspring, who is an agent in section, as well as Austin Osterton, who is one of Blaze's closest friends. The party had their minds inspected and also completely erased, memory modified, so that they would not know anything about section or the events that took place. This includes everything around Blaze, shadow creatures, the tower that they found in the Night Forest, etc. A month has passed. During this month, Mark has enjoyed going to school, different classes, studying in the library, Delta Domini Chi meetings, as well as an encounter on 6th of Elate, in which Mark was studying in the library one day when some people came in and they were being rather noisy, and Mark looked over and it was none other than Isla Omari and her friends. Thinking that maybe this is just a coincidence, you proceed down to check in and catch up, as this is something that you're supposed to be monitoring for section. And someone found, I think you met Riki and Gale, who I think you remember from your summer internship at the Forgotten Familiars Animal Sanctuary. Nice little reunion. You also met Clud, a Warforged, who was studying in the library, trying to find some history on some very different topics. And Riki found a mysterious note in his pocket, which led you on a whirlwind of events of being transported into the story of the Nutcracker, battling your way through various different things, fighting toy soldiers, mice, and navigating through a sugar plum dragon's candy layer. You managed to escape, and since then have gotten quite close studying with Isla Omari for your class, Collegiate Common 1B. It is currently the 13th of Elate. I apologize, but Mark is again sent... Okay, Siri, here's what I found. Mark did receive a alert on his phone.
Mark instinctively takes a look at it.
It is a message. Come as soon as you can, with coordinates, to an area in the Night Forest. It is currently 2:30 in the morning.
Oh boy. Mark
By the way,
considers.
this message is from Mr. Shavaris.
Oh,
I
okay.
apologize. I apologize.
That's okay. Marek rushes over to his dorm to grab gear like his bracelet.
Mark's not
Um,
already in his dorm?
oh, he is?
It's
Oh.
2:30 in the morning.
Oh, right.
Okay, so I was just
Okay.
curious.
So, yeah, Mark grabs any relevant gear to his section utilities. He doesn't don on his outfit, but he does sprint in some normal dark colored garb.
All right.
Heads off.
As you arrive, you see your other fellow agents in Delta Dominici, minus Ian. You see that Eleanor, also dressing rather similarly, is looking at the scene. And there is a lot of people around at this time. You see... I'll just explain the people that you see that you know first. You see Eleanor walking around surveying different things. The Sarevi twins talking with each other, looking a little sad. You see Rain, who is currently speaking with Mr. Shavaris. And over on the other side of this area of the clearing is Mr. Foxglove speaking with President Amadora. They are all around an area in the Night Forest. You may have heard about this based off people that you've talked to. Probably Isla. There is an area in the Night Forest that people like to go and party at. You know about kind of collections of alcohol, maybe see some joints kind of put together and put out, the little butts, and empty beer bottles kind of piled together in a bin, a bonfire that looks like it has been snuffed out, and someone has put some dancing lights out to help illuminate this area a little bit. But what you see that is the most striking is that there are 10 University of Andorra students lying dead on the floor. And in the middle of this kind of scene, on the other side, opposite of you, is a shadow portal where one agent is kind of scanning. What would you like to do first?
Mark's going to kind of fixate on the corpses and try to see if there's anybody that he knows.
Give me a perception check.
A dirty 20.
Another dirty 20. Okay.
Yeah.
Some of these people you do not... none of these people you know personally. However, some you have heard of. Rosie Franklin. She is a young human girl, about 18, who is known for singing at the Nest Cafe. Perhaps you went to go and see a performance of Riki and Rosie. Riki is a purple tiefling that you've had some interaction with. Trying to find a picture. 1 second. Here we go. And all of these bodies, by the way, look as if they have blasted away from the shadow portal. You see like their feet are mostly towards the portal and their head is away. As if they fell away from that direction. Another face that you recognize is Deke. Deke is a goblin. He rather short for a goblin, even though goblins are quite short. And the reason you recognize Deke is from the flyers that have been posted around school to vote for Deke the Geek for freshman representative for the student government. I don't think you recognize any of the other people. Perhaps one, which I have not shown anyone else. But there's this witch who is in your dorm building. She's a junior, human, and she has some like really big eyeliner for this night out. I put it into NPC list. You see that she has some like high-waisted pants, black pants, a black cropped shirt, very edgy kind of clothing. She has like brown hair that fades into gray, little space buns on top of her head. You know that she lives on the top floor, meaning she's probably a junior. Those are the only 3 that you recognize.
Marek snaps out of, his kind of shock at the scene. Looks to anyone that's kind of waiting for me.
Rain finishes speaking with Detective Shavaris, and you see her kind of like sniffling as she leaves to go over to the Sarevi twins. Mr. Shavaris looks in your direction. Waves you over.
Mark immediately strides over.
We've had another incident.
Are these the only casualties? Are
Yes.
there more?
10 in total.
Has anyone gone to the other side yet?
Yes, but only shortly. We see that there are tracks going to the portal and tracks on the other side. Rather than trying to investigate, we've decided to wait and question the dead, as well as maintain surveillance of the portal and see if anyone emerges from the other side.
Does this mean another observation post?
I do believe so, yes. Although we will be doing shifts, it seems that some of the younger agents are a bit distraught, I want to make sure that they have a clear head.
I've heard of some of these people. It's just weird seeing them dead.
It is very unfortunate. We need to find out who is opening these shadow portals. There are too many casualties this time. Typically, there may be one or two that go missing or are found dead, but 10. 10 is the most we've seen.
Yeah, this is big. Don't you think students may come over here for more parties? How are we gonna stop?
No one will come in the morning. Most of the partygoers, it seemed, have left. The rest that were here, well, you've seen what happened.
Where's Ian?
Ian's on a different assignment. Ian does not really do the physical missions.
Right.
He's monitoring seismic activity, any other chatter on the dark web that could potentially be useful.
These things are starting to have a growing presence around the night forest.
We just hope that this is the only big event. We need to get to the bottom of this. We have no other choice. Whoever these people are, they're getting serious.
Do we have any leads on how to find out more? We could step through the portal and go even further. That sounds dangerous.
I think we just need to stay here. If those... We found out there are 2 figures who caused this. If 2 people can do something like this, then we need to monitor and find out more information before acting. I'd rather be prepared and be able to attack if necessary, rather than be on the other side of looking and accidentally coming across 2 powerful. We don't know what they are. One person seems to be a student at the university, although no one really knew her name. Short brown hair is all we got. The other, very older, more mature woman. Dark black hair adorned with purple robes. Not much to go off of.
Robes. I haven't seen anyone here in robes other than me.
Which is why we are all on edge. I'm sending the Serevi twins and Rain home. They can take the evening shift. I'd like for you and Eleanor to stay along with me for the first watch.
Understood. We have to keep an eye out for that. Maybe perhaps another group of students.
I have someone watching. Mr. Foxglove will be somewhere in the forest closer to the grounds to alert us if there are any movement towards this direction.
How soon will the equipment get here?
There is no equipment, it's just us. We will just stay and survey the area. I have some binoculars that you can use. Brought a couple different pairs. Here.
Oh, thank
And
you.
he
I
hands
forgot.
you a high-spec binoculars. And this one, as you look through, it has several different settings. Night vision, regular vision. It has like 50 times zoom.
We can watch from a safe distance. I'll have you and Eleanor take different posts and directions. We'll communicate over earpiece. Here.
He hands you a small, like earbud-like sized communicator. You see that he already has one in his left ear.
Mark holds it in his hand, kind of inspects it before putting it in his.
I'll have you take a post closer towards campus. I'll send you the coordinates shortly. And if you haven't already, make sure that your phone is on silent. I'll give Eleanor her assignment next.
Oh, right. Mark immediately takes his phone down and puts the volume button down. Mark,
This shift is about 6 hours. We'll get comfortable.
bring any snacks? Mark jokes as he starts walking off to
He hands
scan
you
out
a
area.
granola bar.
Oh, I was just kidding, but thank you.
Rule number 1, always come prepared.
Mark smiles and turns.
You see that he goes over to the other side and speaks with Eleanor, and she kind of heads off into a different direction towards the left, and Mr. Shavars goes over towards the right. You see the Serevi twins and Rain head back towards campus in the direction where your coordinates are going. Anything you'd like to do?
Mark would kind of, other than, glancing at his surroundings every once in a while, wants to glance at the scene, and see how things are progressing with the rest of the people that were there.
Most of the people there are mostly like the Delta Domini Kai and the few other high-level agents. Typically, when there is this event like this, there are a lot more people. It seems that they wanted to keep this situation on the down low. Otherwise, they would have brought more backup.
Mark wants to mess with his binoculars, test out all the settings like thermal, zoom.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to, while he surveys the area, going to try to make out Shavaris's and Eleanor's positions.
He sent you their coordinates as well, so that in case something happened, you're able to find them. You do spot like their outline in the binoculars from where you're at, especially on the thermal setting. You see that they're kind of hunched in between some bushes. For the most part, it's dark. As you got into your position, roughly 3:15, time passes. Go ahead and give me a perception check for this watch.
Seven.
You're looking around and you don't notice too much. There are some flies that try to land on your neck. They tickle as they land, also kind of around your ears, the buzzing, rather annoying.
Mark reactively kind of swipes away at his neck. Bugs creep me out.
Time passes. At 7:15, you receive a text message from a slight vibration from your phone.
Mark slowly taking his phone out of his pocket. Making sure the brightness is down before flipping it over to look at it.
It's from Mr. Shavaris. It says, Isla Omari has contacted Ian about the earthquake. They may be coming soon.
Mark will tap away. I'll keep an eye out. Thank you for updating.
About an hour passes. The sun rises, since it's 7 o'clock. I'm going to need you to make me a new perception check for this time.
13.
13. All right, I'm going to give you some information, not a whole lot.
I missed.
But on the earpiece, closer to 8 o'clock, you hear Kane Foxglove's voice.
Several figures approaching. They do not seem to be the ones we're looking for. I'm going to let them pass, since they are on our interested suspects list.
Mark's eyes flicker around in anticipation. He's hoping to try spotting.
Any figures you recognize?
You hear Derek respond.
Dr. Morpheus is one of them. Very interesting. The others are students, Isla Omari, Gil Whisperwind, and a larger red-haired man. They are carrying two figures. Appears to be Riki Shimmer and Elzina Nativ. All on our suspects list, the ones that were arrested for the disappearance.
Noted. Keep observing. No and say anything.
Yes, sir.
As if
You hear Eleanor respond from the other side.
Mark says, "Yes, sir." Can't help but have a curious thought as to what Isla, Riki, what the gang is wrapped up in.
With a 13, you're far ways enough, but you can see a good amount. As you wait, you see the group arrive. Gale is carrying Riki, while the larger man with the red hair is carrying Elzina, who you've heard a little bit about from this group, causing some chaos. All of the meetings and updates you've been getting is one of the people who were arrested for the disappearance of Blaze. You can't necessarily make out any expressions on their face, although they do approach the scene and are immediately taken back by what they see. The groups of students that are lying dead. You're far enough where you can't hear anything. Although you see them react, kind of put down the figures that they're carrying. They bend over one of the students and seem to try and stay there a while. The larger red-haired man goes around looking at all of the different people laying down. And after some time, they all head into the shadow portal.
The group
Mark.
has entered the portal. Any updates?
No one's left behind.
No other people from the campus are approaching. I'll keep you updated.
Forest looks clear on my side, sir.
Hold your positions. We'll see if anyone else approaches, or if anyone leaves the portal.
Mark kind of has a sinking feeling of worry. Those that just enter the portal.
Sorry, can you repeat that? You cut out a little bit.
Oh, no problem. Mark has a sinking feeling of worry in his gut that for those who he recognized entering the Shadowfell.
Anything else you'd like to do at this time?
Mark's going to. He's starting to think about what if I get orders to like go into the portal, to be ready for anything about his spells, on edge.
Right. As you wait, about an hour passes, where you see the shadow portal activate once more. And two figures emerge. You see a darker sort of figure and a shorter, younger woman with her. The figure with the darker clothing is carrying a large book. And you see that she opens the book and they both kind of hold it. And the 10 people who were lying dead raise up and get up like nothing happened. They sort of just passed out, and now they're awake. The figures go over to each of them and speak to them. You see them waving wands and different things. One by one, they all leave, the 10 students. And the 2 figures teleport out and disappear.
Mark excitedly chatters on comms. They just came back from the portal. 2 figures.
Yes, I saw them. Did you hit the record function on the binoculars?
Yes, it's glowing. Does that mean it's working?
There should be a red blinking light on the top right.
Mark takes a glance at that to see if it's...
I would say that this is something that Mark would have training on.
Okay.
Sir, I also have the same thing, but from a different angle. Perhaps we can ID them later.
Good work. This is the first suspects that we have. First real suspects of who's causing these shadow portals. Remember, those students told us the 2 people that they saw before they died was them. We have confirmation.
They went back through the
Perhaps
portal.
we wait a little longer to see if the other group emerges, or if we need to rescue them.
Mark fears the worst has come true. He might have to go back in there.
You wait about 10-15 more minutes, and you see the group emerge. This time, Riki and Alzina are both walking. Although Riki's hair turned a different color, it's now white. You noticed that before it was a dark, kind of black color with maybe one streak of white. Another thing that you noticed is that there is a new figure with them. A woman with sort of earth-toned clothing, a large scarf kind of covering her neck and shoulder. She has sort of gray, white hair. They all stand around the shadow portal looking at the people that are now gone. Kind of waving their hands and pointing at different things, and the shadow portal closes. They wait a little bit longer, and then they head back to campus.
Take note at who the new figure is. This could also be a suspect, a contact on the other side. We need to know everything there is about this woman. And if you can get surveillance later from security of the school to find out where they go.
Alright. I'll head over to the security footage room in the admin building afterwards. I'll try to keep a close follow as they head back into campus.
Mark cuts in. The short one could be a student. Did anyone recognize?
Which short one do you mean? From the
Uh,
first
the-
group or the second?
The two figures.
I agree. From my angle, she looked like she had glasses.
Mentally notes that.
I'll ask around. See what I can do.
We'll need to check the student directory. Perhaps Ian can get some footage or pictures of the students from the website. I'll have him work on that. For now, I would like everyone to write a report of what they just witnessed. I'll have the second team do recon around the school, looking for these figures. Perhaps they can find something.
I spend quite a bit of time with some of those students from that first group. I'll see if they mention it, but I think I should bring it up directly.
Don't bring up anything directly. This situation is too sensitive. Stay
As
close and keep an eye on that group. If you can become closer with them, now is the opportune moment.
As if he was staring face to face with Shavaris, Marek nods in understanding.
I'll head back first. Eleanor, proceed back to campus in 15 minutes. Mark 30 minutes after I leave. 15 minutes after Eleanor does. Keep in contact if you see anything else suspicious. I'll want the report by midnight.
Got it. Can I keep the earpiece?
You can return it when you return in your report. Bring it to the Data Dominici meeting room.
Marek in his head kind of goes, dang it, that was so cool.
Perhaps there'll be another moment to use them later. If we need to do a recon mission, perhaps.
You may keep them in your headquarters for Delta Dominici. If you think that there's something that needs to be recorded or have some sort of backup, you can take these earpieces with you. However, they must be returned at the end of the day. You may check them out, but get approval first.
Of course.
Understood.
Marek quietly fist pumps a little bit, like, yeah, we gotta use them, maybe.
And one by one, you kind of wait in the forest for your turn to leave. And that's where we're going to end this little mini session.
Packed with intrigue.
Yay!
Yay.
People died, but they were revived.
But, like, I'm like, curious, like, is there gonna be anything wrong with them? What if they have life rot? What if they're evil?
Who knows?
I mean, now that they've risen, aren't they technically undead? Ugh.
All right. Any final closing remarks?
Yeah, it was It was pretty interesting knowing that there's a lot of activity from the portals from different groups. I'm kind of curious as to the large red-haired individual. You seem to be extra observant about the the students'
I
bodies.
forgot to mention, as they emerged from the portal, you actually saw that the large red-haired man was still carrying Elzina. And as the group went back to campus, they split off and went another direction towards south, towards town.
Oh, right.
I apologize
You should. It's okay.
for leaving that out. I forgot. I mean, it only happened like 6 months ago or whatever.
Okay, still being carried. Okay. Oh,
All right.
oh my goodness.
Any last closing remarks?
My final one is it's interesting kind of being an observer of all this saucy information that the parties went through.
Anyways, thanks for a fun mini session. I'm excited for the next one.
Oh, please. Pleasure is all mine.